when I lived in West Jerusalem, I moved there at the end of '97 and I left at the beginning of '99. If you had told me which two names could you ever imagine would be in government on either side or in power on either side, never would I have imagined Avigdor Lieberman on one side and Hamas on the other, I've got to say. These were like nightmare scenarios. But I want to say something about Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. You know, we hear a lot that the United States was the Bush administration at the time was pushing for democracy and freedom, and then Hamas was elected and then it stopped. Why was Hamas elected? People forget to ask why Hamas was elected. One of the reasons Hamas was elected is because the Palestinian Authority is corrupt to its teeth. Hello, and the US administration knew this, and the US administration turned a blind eye to the fact that its main ally with the Palestinians was corrupt. And the Palestinians I knew, who I would be meeting with every day, who told me, we are the ones who carried out the first intifada, the intifada that was just rocks and catapults. We are the ones that allowed the PA to return from Tunis and be here to rule, and now they are corrupt. How has anybody forgotten this? That the Palestinian Authority lost credibility with its people for a whole host of things, corruption being one of them. So Hamas didn't just come out of thin air. There is a reason. And another reason is that Yasser Arafat and the Palestinian Authority, like many others in the Arab world, created a situation in which there was no viable alternative to them but Hamas, and Israel actually encouraged Hamas as an alternative to the Palestinian Authority. We've got to talk about all of this. This is all in the history, and it was to everybody's advantage that we had the strong dictator who used his iron fist because we love strong dictators so much, and the only alternative being the crazy lunatic Islamists. Everybody knew this was happening and nobody did anything about it, and nobody pushed to create the political space in the middle to allow the rest of us to express ourselves, because everybody was happy with this bogeyman scenario. So let's be honest here. It's not because Palestinians all of a sudden woke up and said, we love Hamas. Palestinians like you and like me want freedom and dignity. Who is going to give them freedom and dignity? And if it's not Hamas now, they will rise up against Hamas. There's already a hashtag for people in Gaza. You will see it soon. And many of you might have heard of the Young People's Declaration, where they basically say F you to everybody. F you to Hamas, F you to the US, F you to Israel, everybody. So let's not pick and choose what we're talking about here. The same, your disconcerts, your disgust at the Israeli government is the same at any government in the region that everybody knew was corrupt and everybody knew was repressing its people, but it gave them what they wanted to hear. That era is finished. This is what's happening in the Middle East and North Africa now. We are saying we cannot operate like this anymore. What makes me optimistic is that that era is finished, that we have killed so many stereotypes about the region where I come from, about our passivity and inability to rise up. We have more than risen up. Libyans are being slaughtered as we speak. We must meet that courage and we must salute that courage and say we see you and we hear you. But not only that, we will no longer go back to business as usual, because business as usual is the biggest insult to the courage that you're seeing happening in the Middle East and North Africa now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mona.